Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to another premiere draft of Core Set 2020. Get some nice, very simple, very basic magic to counteract all of the incredibly convoluted, super rare, super bomby stuff going on in the cube. So yeah, interesting flashback draft format for them to put on this week. I think it's because Foundations is coming up, which is going to feel a little bit more like a core set than the stuff that we've had lately, although it still looks pretty powerful and pretty pushed, at least compared to this core set. Some pretty simple stuff here, and as such, we'll take just a nice, simple, powerful card for the mana value, just a 2 mana 3/3 that can also turn itself into a 2/2 to get hexproof till end of turn, save itself from the first removal spell. Barkhide Troll looks super fine. The only issue with it is you need to be pretty deep into green. You have to have double green on turn 2 to cast it, but there's really nothing else in this pack. It's a lot of very filler stuff, which we haven't seen in some time. This set really shows off, filler comments like Epicure of Blood, Mammoth Spider. If you missed really simple, really mediocre filler stuff, clogging up the packs, Core Set is for you. We are going to be scrapping with the best stuff we can find. So for pick number 2, we have a Cloudkin Seer for a very good value play, 3 mana 2/1 flyer that draws a card when it enters, a Murder for an excellent removal spell. Scholar of Ages is another good value play. You have to have instants and sorceries in your graveyard for it, but this can be game ending. Picking up your best 2 instants and sorceries late in the game is a massive value play. And there's some ways to bounce it back to your hand. So if you have like Unsummon, you can go infinite with this. It just takes a lot of mana. But yeah, you can keep picking up cards every single turn. I think I'm just on Cloudkin Seer here. It's the most generically good outside of Murder. And I do think blue-green elementals is a very strong archetype. Blue, green, and red all have some cards that work well with elementals, and the blue-green uncommon, Risen Reef, makes it so every time you play an elemental, you draw a card. So if we end up in blue-green, that could be a real good thing this color pair can do. For pick 3, blue-white is kind of the Flyers archetype, where you get the Warden of Evosile to do a lot of work. So that could be pretty good. Even if we're just deep into blue, we can play enough Flyers to reduce costs a lot. There's also another Murder here if we want to push towards black, but if we want to stick to just green, Silverback Shaman is also a great card. A 5/4 trample, and when it dies, you draw a card. So it's kind of your boss monster, your kind of game-ending threat, and even when they do manage to trade into it or murder it or something, it replaces itself in card advantage, which is pretty excellent. So I think I'm just going to go for the Silverback Shaman, considering we are starting green so far with the Troll. But we certainly could have been on a very different path here. We could be on Troll into double Murder. Had I taken the first Murder, I think I would just take the second one there and be more tied to black than green. See where things go from there. Alright, pick 4. Frostlings has an excellent enter effect, tapping and stunning an opposing creature, and if you have any cards that care about elementals, it is very, very good there as well. So I think Frostlings is the strongest card out of blue or green, and honestly the strongest card in general. The biggest competition, the fiercest competition for the links is stuff like Bone Splinters, but there's not a ton of great token production in the format, so Bone Splinters doesn't play super well here where it may have in other formats, like Duskmourn has an equivalent that plays pretty well. And then like Corpse Knight's good if you're aggro enough. Everything else though looks pretty dang filler for the most part. The Sentinel's nice by this format standards, but Frostlings is certainly the strongest card. Pick 5. Not a super exciting pack. There is a combat trick, a mediocre removal spell, and a mediocre draw spell. I mean, it's a very good draw spell if you're like a blue-white Flyers deck, so it always costs only 2 mana, but if you're casting it for 3, mediocre draw spell. I think I'm going to go for the Winged Words. Portal of Sanctuary is a pretty fun build around. Not the strongest card ever. But if the game goes long, this really grinds out a top deck war and just guarantees you win, because any good enter effects just constantly replaying your Cloudkin Seer. The problem is that you have to have the time to do that, so you can't really use this thing. It's going to be a dead draw in any really aggressive games. So yeah, you can't really use this thing in games where you're racing your opponent. It's when you get into a board stall, then you're like, well, I have a Portal of Sanctuary, so I win the game. Because we're in a board stall, but I'm drawing a card every turn because I'm replaying Frostlinks every turn, or I'm blowing up a permanent every turn because I'm replaying Meteor Golem every turn, something like that. The green and blue card is getting pretty weak at this point. We saw Double Murder get passed early, and now an Audacious Thief picks 6, so maybe a speculation towards black is worth it. Trying to go blue-black here. The other option is Meteor Golem, technically playable in any deck. The format is slow enough you can make it to 7 mana even without ramp, but certainly the only card we'd want to put in our deck at 6 or 7 mana. We don't want to clump up a bunch of very high mana value plays. I guess it's the most flexible too, being completely colorless. We'll grab the Meteor Golem. There's other things you can do with it too. There is a Reanimator deck in the format. There's the Blood for Bones or whatever. And that will let you reanimate that thing if you can discard it early. Pick 7, we'll grab one of those Winged Words now. Or I guess Jungle Hollow is flexible. Can do that. I've already got 1 Winged Words. Probably don't want a million copies. Yeah, speculate on some fixing. If we do some splashing around, or if we end up in black. Pick 8. 2 mana +3/+3. It's not a super good combat trick, but it's not horrible. If you load up on copies, 2 mana +5/+5 gets pretty absurd, but then obviously they'll see future copies coming more. Mill doesn't really work in this format unless you're against the 1 self-mill deck, which doesn't happen often. I'm just going to take the stupid portal thing. And if we get into a super board stall, maybe we can do nonsense with it. Pick 9. Bunch of filler stuff. I'll take the growth cycle. Pick 10. Bunch of filler stuff. I guess there's an okay white removal spell. That's probably the best card. There is a Heart Piercer bow deck. If you get like a ton of copies of this thing, if you stack up multiples, you can just shred your opponent's board. So if no one in your whole draft pod ever drafts any Heart Piercer bows, it's kind of like secretly... Oh my god. It's secretly one of the cards like Growth Cycle that like wants you to draft a ton of copies of it very obviously. Heart Piercer Bow has that text, but has like flavor text, like secretly very good if you have like 4 or 5 copies, especially because there's a card that tutors it out, and so you can just grab all your copies of it over time. All right, we're gonna take that really late murder, and we'll keep it in mind that black seems pretty open here. We didn't wheel all the murders, but we wheeled one of them, and I kind of wish I took the Audacious Thief now, because taking the Audacious Thief and then seeing that murder go that late would have been like beautiful. No one's taking the Heart Piercer bows. We can show off the 4 or 5 bow deck. But what do we have for pack 2? Pick 1. An incredible Boros uncommon. We have no red or white cards drafted. That is quite the disappointment. But we do have another Barkhide Troll that's pretty good. I kind of only have 2 green spells right now, Troll and Silverback Shaman, because Growth Cycle's not that good. Whereas in blue, I have Seer, Frostlinks, and Winged Words. Don't really count the portal there. Can't main deck this in draft, though. So there is no blue card in the pack. We have to take one of the green ones. So just another Troll over Silverback Shaman. And Silverback Shaman might be better than Troll, actually. Obviously, the rate you're getting for the Troll is like a great aggressive rate, but format is a little bit slower. And 5/4 trample replace itself when it dies. It's also a really good deal. I'm going to go for the Shaman over the Barkhide Troll. This could be wrong. That's how I'm feeling. Yeah, I'm not super worried about the mana curve right now, so let's just sort by color so we can see how likely we are to be on a black pivot here. Okay, pack 2, pick 2. Okay, there's no good black in this pack. There's no good green in this pack. We just take the Brineborn Cutthroat. This card is great if you draft a bunch of instants. So right now it's not very good, but we're certainly early enough in the draft to take a bunch of instant speed cards, like Unsummon and Growth Cycle and Counter Spells and stuff, so I'm going to grab the Cutthroat. This card can get really big for only 2 mana up front. Right. Pick 3, there's a Counter Spell to go with it. It's a fine one. It's a bad draw in the late game. I guess Anticipate works with it too. It's a decent little draw spell. Weak enough pack here. I think we can just take something that works well with the Brineborn Cutthroat. I like the Bone Dash as a counterspell a lot better than the Convolute, so I think I'll take the Anticipate here. See if we find any Bone Dashes instead. Well, blue-black control. Take all the murders. The other option is Convolute or Pulse of Marasa, which I guess are fine options. And I did already go blue-green. Let's see. Blue-black Brineborn Cutthroat Control. This feels like it could be a deck here. And again, the first murder went super late. So we should get some decent stuff. Let's go for it. The murders play really well with the Cloud Concealer, obviously. Alright, this is a sorcery, so it's not the greatest combo ever, but this card is good. 4 mana, deal 3, gain 3. Helps you stabilize pretty well while you're clearing out an aggressive attacker. Grab that. Great for a controlling deck. There's the Audacious Thief that can draw us a bunch of cards if we can keep the board clear to get its attacks in. Life Chanter is very cute. Could try to splash that thing, but there's a good option for just Dimir control stuff. Okay, pick 7. Undead Servant is good if you have a lot of self-mill to get all the other copies in your grave, but this is the first copy we've seen and we're halfway through the draft. So at this rate, we'll get like 2 copies, and then it's not even that good. So I'm just going to take an Anticipate. That's one of the cards you really want a full play set of. Well, there's the Gorging Vulture to go with it. Vulture also works well with self-mill. Flood of Tears. If this were instant speed, it'd probably be good, but it's a sorcery. I don't think it's quite worth the hefty mana cost. All the Anticipates. Actually, to survive against aggro, I might want to be on another Moat Piranhas here. Just a roadblock. I don't hate that. Should grab a Moat Piranhas. Alright, random white fixing. If we open up any sweet splashable cards in these colors, we can go for it now. Like the Life Chanter. I don't think that's quite strong enough to be super worth it. Main deck to negate for now. That'll probably be one of the first cuts, though. We're becoming really control-y here, where we might not have the creatures to even put the bows onto. But man, if we open that uncommon, that tutors a bow out of our deck every turn. It's gonna be filthy. Pack 3. Oh my god. Well, we're doing it. We're doing it. Oh god, I forgot. There's an uncommon Chandra Planeswalker in this format, and this card is good. 2 deal 2 removal spells at worst. Probably supposed to splash Chandra here, but Weaponsmith with triple bow. Let's do it. We got it. Actually, a lot of 3 mana attackers. We can do bow nonsense. Ooh, Air Elemental? There's pretty much nothing else. I mean, Sanitarium Skeleton's good. It's good with bows, too. You just slap them all on it and then attack in, and it's like if it dies, whatever. But Air Elemental is just sweet. 4/4 flyer at the top of the curve. The sick finisher. Oh, the Risen Reef! No! Well, it's in a pack with a Cloud Concealer, which wears bows really well, gives us good card draw right up front. There's also Blood for Bones, if we can wheel that to go with a Meteor Golem, that can be sick. Man, this pack has all the goodies, even the 2 mana 2/2 lifelinker. Actually was pretty good in this format. I think I gotta just be on Cloud Concealer, though. I don't think the one Jungle Hollow is really gonna get us a Risen Reef slot for this deck. Another great flyer, the Boreal Elemental, and then we wheel the Heart Piercer Bow, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we got a bow pretty much last pick, pack 1. I don't think anybody else wants them. I don't see any world where the Boreal Elemental comes back. But the bow absolutely could. 25 cards. Make a couple cuts here. Negate, portal. Yeah, probably double stone golem before those. I'll start my little pile of cuts. Those are just unsummon. More instants for the Cutthroat, and it's a pretty flexible card. We can even use it to protect one of our own cards from removal, which is relevant sometimes. Cut Negate for the unsummon. Another Gorging Vulture. Honestly, go for a weaker curve and cut Sorcerer of the Fang for that. This looks like nothing. We're not going to play Bone Splinters in this deck. Got Double Murder Siphon already. I guess maybe we will. We have no token production. Bone Splinters is a little rough in here. I'm going to start it in the sideboard, but I will technically have the option. Sprite's good at wearing the Heart Piercer bows. And this would be, just like I predicted, we would have had 2 Undead Servants total if we took one each opportunity we had once we moved into black, which would not have been enough to make it good, so happy we didn't go for the Undead Servant nonsense. We might actually want to cut these Gorging Vultures, because the Self-Mill is literally just a drawback in this deck. There's really no upside to it. We don't have Graveyard Recursion, or cards that care about the number of cards in our graveyard or anything. Did get the bow back for the full play set to go with our Weaponsmith. Portal might also be a little too goofy here. We'll just cut those 4, call it a deck. Blue-black control it up. Heart Piercer bow control as well with the Weaponsmith. We're doing things. Alright, call it a deck here. Hop into the gameplay and see how it does. Alright, here we are for game 1. Unfortunately on the draw here, but still like the start a lot. Sprite into the Cloud Conceer and some bows to slap onto them. If our opponent plays their own Cloud Conceer, we're going to be very happy. With our bow, just play it, slap it on the Sprite, kill it. Turn 2. There's Anticipate from our opponent. Cloud Conceer. Cloud Conceer. Ah, Frostling's a 2/2. To put 2 bows on it? Good thing I can do that. Turn 4. Got 2 bows in hand, which means I kill every 2 toughness card they play for the rest of the game. As long as I can declare an attack with anybody. Come on in, I got bows. Healer of the Glade. Just a 1/2 gain 3. Another Frostlings? Alright. Let's start clearing out the Frostlings, I think. Actually can't equip the bows immediately here. It's 3 mana to play and equip 1, so I need 6 to play and equip all of them. Play 1 and play a Moat Piranhas. Moat Piranhas stops all these from attacking. Yeah, I think I do that. And then next turn, I have the mana to have both the bows on the board and equipped. Because it's only 1 to equip and then 3 to play and equip the other one. Then we start ripping the Lynxes out of here. Wolfkin Bond. Make one of them a 4/4. Okay, that's an issue. The Meteor Golem one at 7 mana. Oh, hello there. What perfect mana I have for that. I guess we'll be attacking with both of these. So I can spread them out, so if they kill one of these, I can still only have to spend one to get the other bow equipped. It's bowing time. Yeah, well, I only have to spend one to move the other bow. Oh, they hit the piranhas. Yeah, fair enough. Try to outrace here. Whee! So they stun one of the flyers, but I get the other one to bow attack in. Yeah, we're still doing great. Heart Piercer bow wombo time. Cool. Instant speed removal would be good here. Too late now. If they had it. Oh, Heart Piercer bow. You just go bing, bing, boom, bing, bong. You knock over your water bottle and everything. It's the best. Befuddle. You got it. There's the concession from our opponent, Heart Piercer bow. MVP that game. They just played a bunch of 2 toughness stuff, and we had 2 bows, so just get to keep attacking with a flyer and chipping away at their entire board. Start things off 1-0, heading into game 2. Alright, here we are for game 2. We're on the draw here, but we have some good defenses. We have the Moat Piranhas, the Frostlings for a stun, and once we hit that late game, the big old Air Elemental. Try to get some damage in. No creatures from our opponent means we'll just start with the Sprite, get the Summoning Sickness out of the way, and a haste threat. Played against a lot of this Buccaneer already. Thing is strong. Frost it down for a turn. Rakdos from our opponent. There's the Blood Burglar. Okay. Piranhas feels decent against that. I think I can attack both here. Just have the Piranhas up. This thing, they can like discard cards to draw cards, and they ping me every time they do that. Knight of the Ebon Legion. So if they deal 4 to me in 1 turn, this gets a +1/+1 counter, and it has an activated ability to get Death Touch and just trade up on anything. Some solid rares here. Really spooky stuff. Well, there's a bow. That'll help a little bit. Need the second bow to really get really get things going. It is 6 mana to play and equip 2 bows, so we will be doing that next turn. As for now, just try to be all up on blocks, I think. We only get 1 damage attacking with Sprite here. I would rather try to disincentivize them from attacking. Get them to just tap out into some other creature like we did. Bone splinters. Sad. Okay, say goodbye, Knight of the Ebon Legion. Ping. Ping. A nice from opponent. Stick 'em up. I got double bow. I like their sleeves a lot. Azorius Fibblethip sleeves. Well, whatever record this deck ends up having, so far in the 2 games that we've played, it has been nice to be able to show off the Heart Piercer bow nonsense you can pull off. Again, just 1 copy of Heart Piercer bow does not do a lot. There's not a ton of 1 toughness cards, but when you stack multiples together, it becomes a very reasonable card. Because there are plenty of just like 2 toughness cards with good abilities like Lynx and Knight and Blood Burglar. So just shredding through that stuff is pretty nasty. Alright, so sending in to trade into the Frostlinks and just dig through their flood here. Or dig through the red sources they don't need. I don't think I should Meteor Golem just one of their lands. I think I should just wait. Will they play something out of reach of the bows? I guess that kind of... Oh, I could have double activated so they didn't gain life. Man, you know, I really don't want to... I could put the bows on the piranhas. Aw, 2 threats. Well, the 3/3's out of reach of the bows. So I'll kill that. Bone splinters, sure. Because the 2/2's just gonna die anyway, because the bows. It's Audacious Thief, they can chump attack to draw a card with that. Here's Boreal Elemental. More bow wielders. Give me more bow wielders. The flavor of this doesn't work out super well. Dual wielding bows, 1 in each hand. How do you even do that? How are you getting the damage in? Getting the arrows out there. Alright, so Thief is still good. They get to just cycle it away here on an attack. Find their next card. Yep. Ooh. I have to double shock elemental? Ooh, that was a good flame sweep. Alright. Cool. The thief with the bows. And then there's a 3/3. Well, block is a trade and we're up a card from Thief's ability. Whee! Looking good. So any 2 toughness creatures they draw are completely useless here. And any 4 toughness creatures still just trade off. Yeah, so that just trades on blocks. That is a sick combo with the bows, though. I would have mentioned it. We did see it during our draft, but we didn't have any black fixing. But that plus Heart Piercer Bow is pretty nasty. Salvage was very good. As is Murder. Oh, they're over it. They're over it. I was just gonna murder that thing. They didn't even wait to see what I had. They just saw me going to my hand and they were like, yeah, no, I'm gone. I'm done. This is nonsense. Fair enough. We are 2-0 now, heading into game 3. All right, we're on the play for game number 3. I like this curve a lot. Just the Flyers deck this game. Dropping Flyers, drawing cards, get into a Meteor Golem at the top of the curve. It's the Flyers mirror match. Blue-white from our opponent. Anticipating into their flying threat. I'm sure. Bow should be really good in this matchup, because most Flyers are like 2/2s. If we can get the double copy, that's going to be sick. Yeah, so there's... Ooh. There's one. We already trade on board, so there's no reason to bow here. Let's Winged Words and see what we find. Murder is nice. Attack both. If they don't block, I'm just going to put a bow down, so if I draw another one, I can equip both of the bows and just start ripping apart their board. Dawning Age, yeah, 2 toughness. Heart Piercer Bow off the top. We got 3 more copies? Nah. Frostlinks is not bad, though. And the trades are not bad either. I can just send in already and drop the Boreal Elemental. Yeah, if they block, I just spend a blue here. If they don't, play the Boreal. 6 mana is enough for Lynx plus Murder, which is a nice play next turn. Tap out for removal on Elemental? Sure. Go down to 13. Just looking for one more Heart Piercer Bow, and we're so good. Frostlink slows things down for us. I'll hit for 1 less damage to hold Murder up here. For if they play something with more than 2 toughness. Okay, draw 2. Okay, 3 toughness, sure. Get murdered. Well, can also get Meteor Golemed, but I'm at 11, so I need to just go land Meteor Golem to 3/2 at this point. So I will do that. Got an air elemental too. Drop that there, and that'll be 5. Pretty winning on board. Griffin Protector is thick though, but not thick enough for Agonizing Siphon. Do that over the Elemental. A bow helps the Frostlings get in. Yeah, makes sense to me. Don't think it really matters what we put the bow on. Cool. Just trades. They go to 6. Move the bow over. Ground Troop. Pacifism. A bow number 2. Seems good. Could absolutely just air elemental here, but I'm so into the double bow. Is there a 1 mana +2/+2 kind of trick here? This could be unsummon here, but if they unsummon, I just cast the Frostlings and that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just kill it next turn. I guess killing it next turn means they actually will get the +1/+1 counter off of it. Oh my god. Ah. Still have a chance here. We're in such a good position. It was literally like win unless we get mythicked, and now we get mythicked. I could triple bow the links, and then it gets in for 2 because they're not going to block and trade. But I think I just get the air elemental down so that we can deal with the Cavalier. We can get it in the sky. Royal Elemental only cares about spell. Air Elemental already gets to attack in and they don't get to block it. And then they don't kill me on the crackback. Because they hit for 8, not 9. So I just attack with Air Elemental. I don't even put the bows on. Because if I use the bows to shoot the Steadfast Sentry, then I'm putting a counter on one of their flyers and dying on the crackback. So I just attack with Air Elemental. Put them to 3. And they're in top deck mode. Okay. 6 damage here. Keep maximum number of attackers. I have to draw something. Well, not true. I have lethal on board with the flasher. If they didn't draw something. Let's see. Alright, the Flash creature gets the surprise lethal for us, and we are undefeated 3-0 now, heading into game 4. Alright, opponent is on the play here. We don't have double black for murder. We're not doing anything till turn 4 agonizing Siphon, but this format has been decently slow, and Siphon's a really good way to stabilize with the life gain. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm supposed to mulligan this, but in my experience, this hand's actually kind of fine. In my experience being the draft and a half I've played so far. Feels like the great late game's a little more important, but we'll see. So far so good on the draws. Anticipate is going to turn into whatever we need it to be. Opponent's going to have the full ramp here. So we just let these things pop off and murder whatever big plays they make. Alright. Well, those are out of the way now. They have 6 mana available here. They've only got 4 cards. That's just a 3/3. I can siphon that. So I'll save the murder for something bigger. Imagine Meteor Golem here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get Thief in particularly easily anytime soon. So let's just top things off with Meteor Golem. Convolute would be good. Do I have to just pass, hold up Convolute instead of playing Siphon? I start taking 3 a turn for doing that, but they're definitely playing big threats, so I think that should be fine. Okay, little threat that protects itself from all of my removal. That is horrific. Now Leafkin Druid's double mana, so they have 5 up here. Well, that went about as poorly as possible. What else is new? We've got Murder plus Convolute next turn, so now we can definitely just tap out and do the double spell next time. Murder whatever they cast this turn and Convolute the play as the follow-up. Yeah, so Murder, the Howling Giant, of course, it spits out 2/2/2s. And they didn't even have the mana to play it last turn, so it's not even like they next level played around a counterspell. They just couldn't even afford to play it last turn, even if they wanted to. They probably played around the counterspell going for a troll instead of something else, but guess I'll die. Yeah. Would have won the game if we just siphoned the very first chance I had to siphon, because then we would have had Convolute up on the Howling Giant turn. Oh my god, maybe we would not have won the game. Because then we wouldn't counter a Cavalier. Wow, we were doomed here. Wow, 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 wow. Oh my god, they have the 4 as well. I didn't even realize. I forgot about the Druid being double mana. Yeah, I mean, we were doomed. I can murder 1 Giant, they still have all of this, and then I can Meteor Golem 1 Cavalier. They still have all of this. I'm good on that one. Alright, here we are for game number 5. This is our first chance to use Weaponsmith to get a bunch of Heartpiercer bows, but we have no blue source. So I can't justify keeping this with 3 blue spells in all swamps. Tragic. Hey, there he is again. Look who it is. Alright, please do not kill my Weaponsmith. No, they're on red? Oh, they're so gonna kill my Weaponsmith. Don't do it. Please. He's just doing his job. He's chilling. Don't worry about him. Cross links it. Man. Just gonna get this convolute out of the way immediately this game. Or not. I hate counter spells. Okay. Grab a bow. Yep, I can block a 2-2 with a 1-3 and grab a bow here. Cool. Activate it again. Do it, Rusty. You know you want to. That's Cutthroat's pretty good. For if we don't convolute again. Should have held up double blue, but auto tapper's doing its thing. I didn't want to manually tap and get all suspicious. Even though it would definitely be the better play. Do I get to convolute yet? Yay. I need one and a blue for Cutthroat. Spend 3 mana however I want it here. Probably play a Thief and a Cutthroat then? No, if I play Thief and Cutthroat, I don't get to use Weaponsmith. If I play Bow and Cutthroat, I can use Weaponsmith again? And I guess I don't need a third bow right now. 2 is enough. But I live in a world of greed. Imagine if I get 4 bows. I can kill both their creatures in one swing. It's gotta be worth it, right? Yeah, and I can kill a 2-3 I couldn't kill otherwise. Okay. Sure. It's actually pretty fine. I am incredibly surprised they didn't convolute the Cutthroat, actually. I think it's better for me that they didn't. Get another bow. Double equip here instead of getting another bow. The 3 toughness is still a problem for sure. One mana from double bowing to kill the sprite and also anticipating to buff the cutthroat next turn. I guess I can play the thief and bow up the cutthroat off of weaponsmith mana. Just go for some efficiency here. Seems fine. Gross. Denizen actually attacks pretty well here. Trades into my Audacious Thief. No attacks from Denizen, though. We like to see it. One card left in their hand. They are relatively unlikely to still have removal for Elemental. Let's pray. And this Elemental stabilizes us. And if not, then the next one does. Okay. We're stable. Okay, that's wonderful mana. Can Elemental and Anticipate. I think I'm on Anticipate, though. I think I start clearing their board. Bounce off each other and kill Metropolis Sprite. And then bounce and kill Lynx, and so on from there. Winged Words, the draw 2. That is a good draw here. Find a land. Pass turn, we're in there. Oh, hello, copy 3. Make sure I don't get milled out. Now they aren't even bounce attacks. We're actually getting damage in. Beautiful. Triple Bow Dream Team has arrived. With how powerful this triple bow is looking here, now that they have some 3 toughness cards out, maybe it was right to just take as much damage as they wanted to push in the early game, just to keep putting bows in our hand. Like if we just had the full play set of bows here, if we were stable enough, then we would be in a really good spot right now. Excuse me. Good draw is good. Thank you, Winged Words. Very cool. They're down to 13. Got their own Cutthroat. Scholar of the Ages. They got anything for 2? Yeah, Winged Words. Oh, that literally just picks up winged words, winged words. That's a pretty good card draw. Hello. Our own card draw. I don't mind that at all. 9 life? I think I can just cash this in immediately. Two 3/3s on the crackback. Sorry, a 3/3 and a 3/4 on the crackback. I can do this and then just attack all next turn. Could set in Cutthroat as well here. First the trade for Scholar. These would die into the Scholar, but by sending both of them in, get a couple more damage in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I put them to like 1 by doing this. If they block one of these, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And they have 6 power on the crackback, and I'm at 7. Yeah, I kind of could die to a combat trick or something. I think I just do this. This is still going to be more than enough damage to find a 2-turn kill. Cloudkin Seer. That's it. Winged Words into Cloudkin Seer. Wee. Boop. 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 It's pretty good. Should be lethal though. Now that they're tapped out, pretty much. Yeah, it's lethal. Ooh, close though. That Flame Sweep wiped most of our board, but still kept the 2 chunkiest flyers to be just good enough. Could have actually lost that game if they Flame Sweeped after blocks. So I think we should have just unsummoned pre-attacks there, because that could help play around cards like that. Either way, a great run now. We are 4-1, pretty much at the break-even point no matter what, but a single game away from being in the money. So let's see if we can't get ourselves a 5th win here. All right. Full control hand here. Play a Moat Piranhas and sit. Well, we're on the draw. We're chilling. Don't know what's up with our opponent. Creeping Trailblazer. Oh, no. Elementals deck over there. Other elementals get +1/+0, and for 4 mana, they can use this activated ability to make this really big. +1/+1 for each elemental they control. So, spooky start. At least I have a Murder up here and then a Siphon up next turn. Probably have to Siphon the Trailblazer. Don't really want to murder the Courser. But I really need to get the Trailblazer off the board. Or else all their other elementals are even better. Maybe I should have just played the Heartpiercer Bow here. Not that equipping it to a Moat Piranhas will do anything, but getting the 2 mana investment out of the way, so when I do hit a creature that can attack with it, it's a little more playable. That is something. Oh. Yeah, I may have to just... I mean, this isn't like a bad trade. Our 2-drop creature trades up into the 3-drop. I like that the 3/3 defender holds off all the 2/2s all game long. Like that. Alright, well that's a 2/2 that's also a removal spell on a stick. But I guess since it's a 2/2, if we get the bow going, that'll get there. But if I get the bow going, they're going to kill whatever I put the bow on. Yeah, let's murder that. So we take 2 to the face here, but now they don't have a removal spell lying in wait. And if I used the Siphon to kill that, then I would miss out on the life gain from it too. Trailblazer by itself might not be that bad, and double bow's enough to kill it. If I hit anything that can attack, I just need to draw a creature. That is exactly out of reach of Siphon. Shoot. Alright. Maybe a awkward draw loss here, where we just can't find the attacking creature for the bows. Yeah, double brawler is absurd. They play really well in multiples. They buff each other. Yeah, we're just not going to find the creatures. And even if we did, these are 4 toughness now. The Sun Summon slows them down quite a bit, at least. Oh my god, their deck is gross. Double Trailblazer? Two of the Signpost uncommons and the best archetype in the format? Troll 2. Alright, this one's over. 4-2 it is, heading into game 7. Alright, here we are for game number 7. What could be the final game if we lose, but we are really fighting for that 5th win here. Trying to get some extra gems out of the event. Got a pretty nice opening hand, the Unsummon to slow them down, the Murder for their first actual threat, and then the Air Elemental as our big finisher. Normally I don't love unsummoning a 1-drop, but when I don't have any blockers to play, a creature that's attacking for 2 a turn, hitting me in the early game is pretty bad. And the upside of the unsummon here is that if we bounce the 1-drop, they can't curve out on us, go 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. So if they have a good 2-drop, then that does actually keep the Scorch Spitter off of us for quite some time, and they did have the Leafkin Druid, so didn't even get to replay the Scorch Spitter immediately the following turn. But here it is now. But now we have the Murder on the 3/4. Honestly, if I didn't have 4 copies of Heartpiercer Bow in this deck, I'd probably hold off for the trade. But the fact that I have 4 cards I can draw that just kill the Spitter instantly means probably don't trade the Cloud Concealer into it. Lavakin Brawler, that's a problem. We've got the Meteor Golem for it, but that'll take some time. These are all elementals. We might have to trade Air Elemental into that even. Because that, I mean, it's hitting like a truck here. It's already hitting for 5. Yeah, if they don't have removal, Air Elemental is just going right under the bus. Man, the Elementals deck was so sweet in the format. Green-blue or green-red. Yeah, that's filthy. Now it's got 5 toughness, so the elemental block is useless. Whenever another creature you control dies, gain a life, and put a counter on this thing? Dang. Alright. Oh wow, they even have the trick for the Scorch Spitter. The double strike! Well, that's magic. 4 and 3 it is. Well, I guess technically not dead. Since the Scorch Spitter is gone, they don't get to deal a damage just off declaring the attack, but I'm just in the chump zone. Wow. Alright. Well, that's the Elementals deck for you. Super unstoppable stuff there. The Mask of Immolation did shoot me in the face for one. 4 and 3 it is. Still pretty happy with this draft. We got to show off some of the more unique stuff in the format, the Heart Piercer Bow nonsense. And it did play super well in some of those games. Would have played pretty well in that game if we had it in the opener, shooting that Scorch Spitter, and still having the bows left behind would have been sweet. And then I could have had the murder for the later creatures and stuff. Might have been fine, but yeah, that curve out from our opponent was insanity. Quite the blowout there. Elementals deck is strong. But yeah, I mean, we got to win some games off of the bow combo nonsense. Also just got to do general flying damage and blue-black control-y stuff. Decent showing from the deck this time around, pretty much at that break-even point, getting 1,400 gems and 3 packs of Core Set 2020. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and are interested in seeing some more like it, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.